Most of us take electricity for granted, until it's gone. We flip a switch, plug in our devices, and rarely think twice about the invisible network powering our lives. But when the lights suddenly go out, everything changes in an instant. In 2021, Texas learned this the hard way, when a brutal winter storm swept across the state, knocking out power for millions. Homes went cold, pipes burst, and entire communities were left scrambling to survive in freezing temperatures. Power plants failed under the strain, and the grid teetered on the edge of total collapse. The infrastructure simply wasn't prepared for such extreme conditions, revealing vulnerabilities that had been ignored for years. Then, in 2025, disaster struck again, this time across the Atlantic. A sophisticated cyber attack plunged Spain and Portugal into darkness. This blackout wasn't caused by nature, but by hackers exploiting weaknesses in the digital backbone of the grid. Both events expose just how fragile our modern grid really is. Whether it's a storm or a cyber threat, the systems we depend on can fail in unexpected ways. Hospitals scrambled to stay open, relying on backup generators. Water treatment plants faltered, threatening access to clean water. Daily routines unraveled almost overnight, and the sense of normalcy vanished. These weren't survivalists or doomsday preppers. They were regular people, blindsided by how quickly things fell apart. Many had never imagined they'd be caught unprepared. The lesson? Outages aren't just dramatic movie plots, they're real events that can strike anywhere, at any time, and to anyone. Being prepared isn't about paranoia, it's about practicality. A little foresight can mean the difference between chaos and calm when the unexpected happens. A simple emergency plan and a few basic supplies like water, food, and flashlights can make all the difference in those crucial first 72 hours after the power goes out. Because when the lights go out, those first 3 days are critical. That's when you'll need to rely on what you have, and on each other the most. Understanding what happened in Texas and Iberia isn't just about looking back, it's about learning how to prepare for our own what-if moments, wherever we live. It's about respecting the complex systems we rely on every day, and knowing how to adapt and cope when those systems suddenly fail. The grid is more fragile than we think. Even small disruptions can have massive ripple effects across entire regions. Ordinary people have faced these challenges before, and many found creative ways to adapt, support each other, and get through the crisis together. The question is, will you be ready if it happens to you? Preparation starts with awareness and a willingness to act before disaster strikes. Let's take a closer look at what those first 72 hours really look like and how you can be ready to face them. The first hour of a blackout is confusion. The lights vanish without warning, plunging your home into darkness. You fumble for flashlights, candles, anything to push back the shadows. The familiar glow of screens is gone, replaced by uncertainty and a growing sense of unease. You wait, thinking it's just your block. Maybe a blown transformer, a downed line, something local, something fixable. You peer out the window, searching for any sign of light in the distance, hoping to spot a neighbor's lamp or the headlights of a repair truck. But soon, texts reveal it's citywide. Messages pour in from friends and family across town, all reporting the same thing: total darkness. The realization hits. This isn't just your street, it's everywhere. Cell towers slow, then fail as backup batteries drain. Calls drop, texts lag, and your lifeline to the outside world begins to fade. The digital silence grows heavier with every passing minute. This is your golden hour. Act before things get worse. You scramble to gather supplies, fill bathtubs and pitchers with water, and check your emergency kit. Every minute counts, because soon, options will run out. By hour 6, darkness is absolute. The city, once alive with light, is now a sea of black. Only the occasional flicker of a flashlight or candle hints at life inside. The city's familiar hum is gone, replaced by silence and unease. The distant sounds of traffic, music, and conversation have vanished. Now, there's only the sound of your own breathing and the creak of settling buildings. Phones die, news stops, and you're cut off. The TV is blank, the radio silent. You realize how much you relied on these things for comfort and information. At 12 hours, hospitals run on generators, but only for critical care. Clinics close, emergency rooms fill up, and only the most urgent cases are treated. The safety net you counted on is stretched thin. Grocery stores lock up as food spoils. Refrigerators and freezers fail and shelves empty quickly. People line up outside, hoping for a chance to grab essentials before it's too late. The supply chain halts, No trucks, no payments, no restocking. Deliveries stop, warehouses go dark, and the flow of goods grinds to a halt. The city's lifeblood is cut off. By 24 hours, water becomes the biggest problem. Faucets sputter, then run dry. You start to ration what little you have left, knowing there's no telling when it will return. Taps slow to a trickle, then stop, as pumps run out of fuel. Water towers empty, and the city's plumbing grinds to a halt. The luxury of running water is suddenly a memory. High-rises lose water first. Older buildings fare no better. Residents haul buckets up flights of stairs, desperate for every drop. The struggle for basic needs becomes real. The shock fades, replaced by a dawning realization. This is serious. The novelty of candlelight dinners is gone, replaced by anxiety and whispered plans for what comes next. The world shrinks to your neighborhood. You reach out to neighbors, sharing news, resources, and comfort. Community becomes your new safety net. The first day ends, and the real challenges begin. As the sun sets, you brace for another night of uncertainty, knowing tomorrow will bring new tests. No power means no water, no communication, and no easy answers. Every problem feels bigger in the dark, and solutions are hard to find. The clock is ticking, and survival just got real. Every hour that passes brings new challenges and fewer resources. What you do in these first hours matters. Preparation, quick thinking, and community can make all the difference between hardship and hope. Are you ready for day 2? Let's find out. The blackout is just beginning, and your response will shape what comes next. Day 2, the water stops. Our water systems run on electricity, and when the grid fails, so do the pumps. By 36 hours, faucets are dry. Suddenly, water is more precious than food. You can last weeks without eating, but only days without water. No running water means no drinking, no cooking, no sanitation. Fire risk skyrockets. Hydrants are useless, and a small fire can become a disaster. By 48 hours, the city is transformed. Sanitation breaks down, and disease risk rises. The question shifts from when will power return to where can I find clean water. Scarcity strains community bonds. Survival now depends on resourcefulness and luck. By day 3, this isn't a blackout. It's a crisis. Water is still the top concern, but now food and information are running out too. People search for water anywhere, risking illness from unsafe sources. Communication is gone. A battery radio is your only link to the outside world. Hospitals are overwhelmed, and those with medical needs are in danger. Sanitation is a growing threat, and minor injuries can become life-threatening. The silence and isolation are as hard as the physical hardships. After 72 hours, modern life is stripped away. Survival is about water, warmth, safety, and information. The crisis reveals both the best and worst in people. Are you prepared for this new normal? The obvious problems, no lights, no fridge, are just the start. Carbon monoxide is a silent killer. Never use grills or heaters indoors. Food spoils fast. When in doubt, throw it out. Candles are a fire risk. Use LED lanterns or glow sticks instead. Fires are harder to fight without water. One mistake can destroy a building. Desperation leads to bad decisions. Unsafe water, risky behavior, even crime. Keep a low profile. Lock your doors and know your neighbors. Community is your best defense. The hidden dangers are real, but awareness is your first line of protection. Stay alert, stay safe, and don't underestimate the risks. Preparation isn't just about supplies. It's about smart choices. The dark hides more than you think. Be ready for the unexpected. Think your gas stove will work in a blackout? Think again. Most modern stoves need electricity for ignition or safety valves. Even if gas flows, you might not be able to light it. The financial system also grinds to a halt. No cards, no ATMs, only cash. Few people carry cash, so those who do have an advantage. The psychological toll is real. Silence, darkness, and isolation can be overwhelming. Keeping a routine and staying connected with neighbors helps. A deck of cards or a book can be a lifesaver for morale. The grid's failure is a domino effect. Lose power, lose water, heat, money, and safety. It's not one problem, but many. A plan for each is essential. Prepare for surprises, because they're coming. Restoring the grid isn't just flipping a switch, it's called a black start. Engineers must restart power plants in a precise order, using special plants that can start without outside electricity. They build small islands of power, then connect them, step by step. Too much load, or power, too soon, and the system crashes again. It's a delicate, high-stakes process that can take days or weeks. The grid is a living machine, balanced second by second. Black start is open-heart surgery for our infrastructure. The people who do this are unsung heroes. Even with the best teams, recovery isn't instant. That's why you need to be self-sufficient for at least 72 hours. The grid's complexity is why preparation matters. You don't need a bunker to be prepared, just a smart 72-hour kit. Water is first, 1 gallon per person per day. Fill clean bottles and store them. Stock non-perishable food, protein bars, canned goods, peanut butter, crackers, nuts. Build your supply slowly, 1 or 2 extra items per grocery trip. Don't forget a manual can opener. For light and info, get a battery or hand crank radio and LED flashlights. Skip candles. Use safe battery-powered lights. A charged USB power bank can keep your phone alive for a while. Basic first aid kit, garbage bags, and hand sanitizer cover safety and sanitation. Store everything in a box or backpack. It's simple, affordable, and gives you peace of mind. If the lights go out, you'll be ready. Preparation is power. Start today. The most valuable survival tool isn't in a store, it's your neighbors. When disaster strikes, it's not the gear in your closet that will get you through the first night, but the people living right next door. The connections you build today can become your lifeline tomorrow. In every crisis, community makes the difference. When the lights go out, it's your neighbors who will check in, share what they have, and help you feel less alone in the uncertainty. People share resources, check on the vulnerable, and pool skills. Someone might have extra batteries, another might know first aid, and someone else might simply offer a listening ear or a warm meal, but you can't build trust in the middle of a blackout. Start now. Trust is built over time through small acts of kindness and simple conversations. Learn your neighbors' names, check on the elderly, and know who might need help. A simple introduction today could mean a lifeline tomorrow. Organize a contact list or a simple meet and greet. Even a quick chat at the mailbox can open doors to deeper connections and future cooperation. Everyone has something to offer, from medical skills to just being a calm presence. You never know who might have the knowledge or resources that could make all the difference. A blackout strips away titles and wealth. It's about people helping people. In those moments, community spirit shines brighter than any flashlight. Batteries and canned goods matter, but strong bonds matter more. Laughter, comfort, and teamwork can turn a crisis into a moment of unity. The most resilient communities are the most connected. When everyone knows each other, recovery is faster and hope is stronger. After you prep your kit, take a walk and say hello. A friendly wave or a quick chat can be the first step to building your safety net. Build your safety net before you need it. The relationships you nurture now will hold you up when times get tough. That's the real secret to surviving the dark, leaning on each other, and facing the unknown together, as a community.